and welcome to the Citi Prime News. We are coming to you live from our studios at number 11, Dr. Martin Loop in Adabraka, Accra. My name is Ajuatin Kramadom. Now coming up this afternoon, Chief Justice Gertrude Tokono defense expedited hearing of case filed by Saudi MP Roxanne Nelson Dafia-Mekpo following accusations by the national in the next 30 minutes. Remember, this bulletin is live on Facebook on Citi 97.3 FM. Across our partner stations, we are live in the Western Region, Premier 100.5 in Takrady Beach, 105.5 in Takrady, Bono Region, Greener 95.9 in Sunyai, Ashanti Region, find us on Orange 107.9 in Kumasi, Volta Region, this is Akpeni Radio 96.7 in Pando, Heritage 107.3 in Hohoi, Northern Region, you can find us on Dasuma 99.1 FM in Yendi. In the Upper East Region, we are on Word FM 88.3 in Zuarungu. In the Upper West, find us on Westlink 88.1 FM, and in the Northeast region, you can find us on Eagle 94.1 FM. Please stay for details.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
A very warm welcome to you this afternoon. We begin with the Chief Justice Gertrude Isaba-Saki Tokono, her ladyship, who has defended the decision to expedite hearing of the injunction application filed by the Member of Parliament for Saudi Roxanne Nelson Dafia-Mekpo, which sought to halt Parliament's confirmation of newly nominated ministers. Justice Tokono asserted that the case was ripe for hearing as all necessary procedures had been fulfilled. Addressing reporters, her ladyship Gertrude Isaba Tokono revealed new measures to prioritize cases that have gone through the required processes for prompt hearing.
In this particular case, as soon as the case was filed, the Attorney General filed his response. He filed his affidavit in opposition. So the case was ripe for hearing. We were going to go on Easter break, and the Attorney General wrote and said, this is a matter of governance. So could the court issue hearing notice for the case to be heard? And the court was going to sit on the Wednesday. And so hearing notices were issued so that the applicant who filed the case himself and who should be interested in his case himself will come to court. And all the different, the two other respondents will also come to court. So the bailiff went and served all of them with hearing notices. And when the court sat on that Wednesday, it formed part of our list.
You had a Chief Justice, her ladyship Gertrude Isaba-Saki Tokono. Well, she has also been explaining the rationale behind implementing a shift system in certain courts, highlighting the need to reduce the workload burden on judges.
In Adenta, for instance, one High Court judge has as many as 550 cases. One has 600 cases. Surely she cannot work effectively. The same for Amasaman, the same for, in fact, Tema has very high cases. Labadi, very high cases. Teshi, very high cases. And so it's become necessary to see how to relieve the load in those courts. And that is what necessitated the afternoon shift courts. So I'm praying that within the next 3-4 months, when we do an evaluation, we will see whether the caseloads have gone down because somebody else has gone to help the judge. As time goes on, it's not going to be a permanent situation in those courts. As time goes on, when the caseload goes down to manageable level, then maybe the second judge will be withdrawn. And if it works very well, this is a pilot. If it works very well, then we will move on to those to other courts that have equally high caseloads.
You heard her ladyship Gertrude Isaba-Saki Tokono. She is the Chief Justice of the Republic of Ghana. Away from the court now, authorities at the Opokuwari School have refuted claims of deboardinizing over 1,000 students, but maintain some students who flouted school rules are facing the school's disciplinary committee. Most students who left the school for the Easter break without permission will face the school's disciplinary committee as they were recalled after an earlier decision by the management to send them home. Headmaster of Opokuwari School, Reverend Stephen Sechu, also insists the management will not countenance indiscipline by any student.
It's not true that we have deboardized 1,500, 1,000 or 600, or it's not true. School was supposed to vacate on Wednesday last week, but some students chose to give themselves vacation on Tuesday. So roll call was conducted, and when they came, we asked them to appear before the DC, and before the DC's report comes, we want them to remain at home and then come to school. But just this morning, we decided to, because some of them are from Accra and other places, the management has decided to bring them back to school, and we are going to meet with the parents tomorrow and then make sure that together with the parents, our students will not repeat this kind of action again, because it's not right, and we cannot entertain discipline in Opokuwari School. We will not allow students to destroy the rules and regulations of GES for us. You can't go home without permission, and if you decide to go home without permission, the school rules will take its course.
Well, the authorities of the school, Opokuwari School, are set to meet parents of affected students on the matter. Reverend Setro Wusu is urging parents to be calm and help authorities properly raise their wards.
I want parents to help us train these boys, not to support them to break school rules. If they do, they shouldn't think that, they'll go to Citi FM or they'll go to Joy. So one day,
the headmaster of Opokuwari School, Reverend Stephen Owusu Setre, will stay on education, but now in faraway land, because Ghana Students Association in Hungary has raised concerns over the prolonged delay in the disbursement of their stipends, which they say is adversely impacting their lives and academics. The students say the Ghanaian government's failure to provide monthly stipends to approximately 215 students over the past 6 months has compromised the academic performance. These students spanning undergraduate, master's and PhD programs are grappling with financial challenges due to the absence of timely payment. Speaking to City News, the president of the Ghana Students in Hungary, Abdul Manaf Rabiu, says the delay is affecting all aspects of their lives.
As scholarship students, we have a mandate, and that mandate is that at the end of each semester, we are supposed to meet a GPA of 3.0. So students have now been forced to go and work, and as they go to work, automatically it affects their studies, because the very threatening situation here is that in all we are 215, and out of these 215, half of the number, that is 105 of these students, are undergraduate students, and these undergraduate students are just teenagers. They are just kids who have been left here with their kids. Some of them cannot even do some of the tedious work that is ongoing here, and it's difficult for them at this level because they don't have any work experiences to work in any good. And I tell you, even though we are in abroad, some still reach out to families back home and send them money to take care of them. Another situation is that in September we received 72 students, and these 72 students, since they came till now, have not received even $1. But I could say that for the continuous students, even though they are also not being paid for 6 months, to some extent they have received some stipend in the past. So the worrying situation is about the kids, and they have been left with their fate. And another challenging situation is that this is a bilateral scholarship between the government of Ghana and also the government of Hungary. So for the government of Hungary, they have fulfilled their part. They have done whatever it is expected of them to do. And also on the part of Ghana, they are supposed to give us a monthly stipend of $400 for masters and PhD each month, and also $250 to the undergraduate students each month. But as we speak now, for the government of Ghana, they have not fulfilled any of their responsibilities.
You heard Abdul Manaf Rabiu. He's president of the Ghana Students Association in Hungary. We'll still stay on education because the new Jabin South Municipal Education Directorate has set up a 4-member committee to investigate an abandoned washroom facility situated at the Sarkodie cluster of schools in Koforidua in the eastern region. The abandoned washroom facility with a borehole, which is under the $1 million per constituency project, is part of the Infrastructure for Poverty Eradication program, which has been in place since 2019. In an interview with Citi News after inspecting the facility, the New Jobin South Municipal Education Director, Mustafa Haruna Pia, indicated that findings will be reported to the Municipal Assembly for keys to be released for its immediate use.
Yesterday, we had a social service committee meeting at the Assembly, and this particular toilet came for discussion. And so they've even set up a four-man committee to come and investigate as to whether the toilet is for the school or for the community, because we didn't know whether it was for the community or for the school. And so this morning, as the teachers have resumed, we decided to go around and also take advantage to inspect or check the toilet facility so that we can also report same to the Assembly for them to give us the key for the children to use the toilet. Because it is the Assemblyman complained, it was the Assemblyman there who complained that the children defecate in the bushes, which was not good. And so for that matter, we needed to at least come and see the facility and see how best all of us can put our hands together to support so that they will open the toilet for the children.
That was the New Jobin South Municipal Education Director, Mustafa Haruna Apia. Away from education now, the Affirmative Action Bill Coalition has disclosed plans to embark on a protest after the prolonged delay in the passage of the bill. The coalition emphasizes the importance of raising awareness among policymakers to prompt swift action. Speaking to Citi News, the convener of the coalition, Sheila Minkapremo, says her outfit is currently consulting stakeholders to finalize their decision.
Just want to, with regard to possibly considering a picketing, we want to draw attention to the need to speed up in the processing of the affirmative action gender equality bill. We want to make sure that we want to draw attention to policymakers that this is a very important bill that needs to be passed into law. In this country, sometimes when you're trying to push your agenda and it seems to have slowed down, sometimes the picketing tends to put some kind of energy into the whole process. So yes, it's one of the options we are considering. We are consulting with stakeholders, so we have to. The coalition is there, but we need to consult with other stakeholders so that it will be done well.
Sheila Minkapremo says further that the bill will be passed this year as the coalition is actively involved in various lobbying efforts.
Well, March is already passed, as you are aware. So we'll continue with our lobbying with Parliament. We'll still try key persons, the chair of the Gender and Child Committee. We've already met the speaker. We'll try and see the speaker again. We met the previous majority leader. We need to see the new one as well as the minority leader. So we'll keep our lobbying because we need to lobby. I believe so that it is very important. They themselves, they realize they need to have it. Parliament themselves are members of an international group called the Interparliamentary Union. Ghana, currently we have only 40 out of 275 members of Parliament, with us having 14.5%, which is way below the minimum the UN requires, which is at least 30%. So they have been told by that they need to make sure that something is put in place, increase the numbers. So yes, I believe that to be passed.
Sheila Minkapremo is convener for the Affirmative Action Bill Coalition. You're still listening to the Citi Prime News live from our studios in Adabraka, Accra. Still to come, NDC urges members not to be intimidated by the MPP over some comment on handing over power after the 2024 elections. We'll tell you more shortly. Please stay.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
Citi TV is live on DSTV, GoTV, and HD+. On DSTV, find us on channel 363. On GoTV, we're on channel 117, and on HD+, get us on channel 108. On a digital TV, run a new search, but take note that without an antenna, you cannot access Citi TV. Citi TV can be accessed on any free-to-air digital box like the GoTV and HD+ boxes. Citi TV, it's your world.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
You're welcome back. We have more stories for you this afternoon. The director of the Ghana School of Law, Berima Yao Kodi Opon, has stated that his appointment as the director of the school was not politically influenced. Berima Yaokodiopon, who was in private practice as lawyer, took office on April 1, 2022. Some reports suggested that his appointment was politically influenced, but speaking in an interview on the Point of View on Citi TV with Bernard Avle, he stated that he was chosen for the position after applying along with other candidates.
As strange as that date may look, I actually entered the office still thinking it was April Fool. To be honest with you, 1st April 2022. And then I left, and the next day I came, and I left, and the next day I came, and I realized that it was neither April Fool nor was I dreaming. If anybody had told me that in future I might become even a lecturer at the school, I would have said, give me something less. I will believe you. It's just by the grace of God that, things happen legitimately. Wow. And I found it has nothing to do with politics. It's not a political appointment. For the job. Yes, there was a vacancy. A couple of us applied. I attended the interview. I had to defend myself. You have to show that you have some legal texts, whether articles. I had to carry with my huge book. This one? Yeah, but at the time I had the new edition because of the New Land Act.
Director of the Ghana School of Law, Berima Yaokodiopon. Away from that, the flag bearer of the National Democratic Congress, John Dramani Mahama, says a future NDC government would not invest state resources in the uncompleted National Cathedral project. Mr. Mahama emphasized that the National Cathedral project was a personal pledge made by an individual and should not be funded with state resources for its completion. Addressing questions during a special public lecture organized by the School of Communications Studies at the Wisconsin International University College regarding his plans for completing unfinished government projects if elected, Mr. Mahama underscored the urgency of directing such funds towards education.
For me, the National Cathedral was a covenant somebody made with God, an individual. He said he swore to God that if he became president, he would build a cathedral for him. And so, from my perspective, it is his promise to build a house for God. And I don't know if God asked him for a house, I'm sure that if he really had asked God what God would want him to do with $400 million, I don't think God would have chosen a cathedral when $400 million could have provided textbooks for all our students. I don't think God would have asked you to build him a cathedral when we could have used that money to dualize the road from here to Cape Coast. People die every day on that road because it's a single lane road. And so God didn't ask for it. Somebody promised it to God. It was a personal promise. And if I have 400 million, God will be angry with me if I use it to build that cathedral. I'm not going to take taxpayers 400 million or borrow 400 million from any source to build that cathedral.
John Dramani Mahama is former president of the Republic, also the flag bearer of the National Democratic Congress. Let's stay with the party, the NDC, because it has urged its members not to be intimidated by comments from some members of the New Patriotic Party of their intentions not to hand over power to the NDC after the upcoming elections. The NDC described the comments recently made by Food and Agriculture Minister Brian Echampon and Ashanti Regional Chairman of the NPP, Bernard Entwibosia, as reckless and insists the NDC is not shaking by those utterances. Deputy General Secretary of the NDC, Mustafa Gbande, speaking after a meeting with party members in the Bantama constituency, maintains the party will resist intimidation from the NPP.
It is our duty as Ghanaians to defend the democracy of this country. We will not allow hooligans to take over the Republic of Ghana. We are going into an election. Whoever wins takes control of the reins of the country. We are dealing with governance of ideas, politicking of ideas, and politics that changes destiny and put food on the table of Ghanaians. To the extent that you have senior functionaries of government threatening that they won't hand over, we are only here to assure them that come December 7th, if Ghanaians vote for His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, I can assure Nana Akufo-Addo that he would hand over power to the NDC at all costs. And we will not hesitate. We will not stop our members, restrain them. If that day comes and the government functionaries misbehave. Because clearly, people who ought to know and people who ought to be beacon of peace are really the ones that are threatening the stability of our democracy.
You heard Mustafa Gbande, he's Deputy General Secretary of the National Democratic Congress. We'll now go to the quarters of the NPP because members of the party seeking to replace the late Member of Parliament for Ejiso have begun filing their nominations. As the party closes the exercise today, 9 persons have picked nomination forms to contest in the party's parliamentary primaries, which is in preparation for the by-election. The NPP has set April 13, 2024 to hold its parliamentary primary in the Ejiso constituency, even as the Electoral Commission is yet to announce an official date for the by-election. The wife of Abronye DC, Portia Champon Abronye, after filing her nomination, highlighted her reasons for contesting in the primary.
I'm from this very district, this very municipal. I'm from Ejiso. So I felt like it's about time I also speak for my people. There are a lot of things we need. There are a lot of things we need to bring here. I am now coming up, and I feel like it's about time I also step in to help my people. So I am a native here, so I need to do the needful and help my people. Exactly. He's a very capable man. He's an abled man, and I feel he's somebody I have to, learn from him. You know, he is my mentor for now. That's what I'll say. Yes. So for now, I'm stepping in his shoes and I'm helping him out in the political field. My vision is to make this place a place where people can say, "Oh, Ejiso is a very, it's a good place."
You heard the wife of Abronye DC, Portia Champon Abronye, another female aspirant who contested during the Ayawaso West Wogon by-election. Mameya Abuaji is also pledging to unite the Ejiso constituency if voted for.
Here is to continue what Honorable John Kuma started. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to complete the 4 years. And there are a lot of projects that he started which needs to be completed by the end of this year. In fact, by 7th December. So that is their pressing need now. Okay, what I'm bringing on board is unity. Because unity has always been my hallmark. This is not the first time I've contested an election. And when it wasn't successful, that was in Ayawaso, I didn't neglect the delegates. And in fact, most of them want to come here and help. Without unity, we can't forge ahead. Fortunately, I was very close with John Kuma. So most of the projects that is ongoing here, I know about it. And that even makes it easier for me to continue.
He had a prospective aspirant for the Ejiso parliamentary seat, Mameya Abuaji. We'll stay on the subject because leadership of the National Democratic Party, NDP, says presenting a candidate for the upcoming Ejiso by-election is currently not a priority to the party. Speaking at a press engagement earlier today, General Secretary for the NDP, Alhaji Frimpong, intimated that the party was still putting things together ahead of the 2024 general elections. He, however, added that if the original unit demands it, the party might consider it. Meanwhile, the General Secretary for the NDP, Alhaji Frimpong, is calling on political parties to concentrate on communal inclusivity and participation in governance.
Our own elected legislators have conspired to stifle inclusion and participation of the people in governance, leaving governance very opaque to the detriment of development. Where in the election year, all discourse is centered on party manifestos and infrastructure, political parties tend to build walls around themselves to the exclusion of potent ideas and innovation. Rather than shallow manifestos, political parties must concentrate on inclusivity and participation in governance as the surest means to protect the public purse. In fact, infrastructure, agriculture, education, health, employment, economy, etc., can be adequately contributed to by the NDPC, the National Development Productivity and Planning Commission, CSOs, and other think tanks through legislature or an agency. For the 2024 election, our narrative for national development must be by the fundamental governance policy roadmap of inclusive and participatory leadership.
You heard the General Secretary of the National Democratic Party, Alhaji Frimpong. Away from politics now, the Renal Patients Association of Ghana is reiterating its plea for the inclusion of renal treatment in the National Health Insurance Scheme. The association says its members are still concerned despite reports that Parliament has approved a reduced fee of 491 Ghana cedis for dialysis treatment as opposed to the 765 cedis proposed by the Kolebutichin Hospital. While acknowledging the reduction in fees, the group explains that many patients still cannot afford the cost. Speaking to Citi News, a spokesperson for the association, Kojo Ahenkra, advocated for the government to either absorb these fees into the NHIS or explore alternative means to cover the expenses.
Take an intel that there's going to be an increment there. The old price that we are paying now, initially they move it to the 7.6 something. That was last year around May. About a month ago, we had an information that they want to increase it to 491, but it's not yet confirmed. What we gathered was that this is an approved price from Parliament, but as I speak to you, it has not been implemented yet. Even the 380 people can't pay. Kolebu need money to get the consumables and bring it down. But even if they are saying they are even going to charge 100 cedis per session, how many people can afford? They should look at the National Health Insurance. I don't know why they're not looking at it. I don't know why we always suggested that the COVID fund, the COVID levy that we've been paying, that money covered is no more, and we are still paying the COVID. Can they push that money there?
That was spokesperson of the Renal Patients Association of Ghana, Kojo Ahenkra. Now, the Ghana Enterprises Agency has reviewed plans to give the Koforidua Bees Market a facelift to boost the local economy and tourism. According to CEO of the GEA, Kosi Yanke Aye, this will ease the operations to help create more job opportunities in the tourism sector.
A lot of glass is recycled at the beads markets. The recycled glass is what they turn into beads. So that is the raw material. Now, when you go there, you realize that it's scattered around. And because of that, they also don't have crushers. So people are made to take away these glass blades to wherever they are, find crushers, and then do the intervention.
Kosi Yanke Aye is Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Enterprises Agency. And that's all we have for you for this afternoon's edition of the Citi Prime News. We came